Employee turnover is very costly and disruptive for the productivity of the organization. I'll talk about the main causes and fix for employee turnover in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimist Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. The unemployment rate in North America especially is extremely low. I think it's 3.5% right now in the US, which means it's very hard to find new employees, and the harder it is, the more costly it is. The cost of recruiting, of onboarding, training, all these costs add up. And of course, it disrupts productivity and performance of the company. So you want to reduce turnover or eliminate it. Well, you can't really eliminate it, and maybe you don't want to. There's people that you want to turn over from time to time, but you want to limit it. And so that means retaining people. So what are the causes of employee turnover? And I did some research to see what comes up. And of course, there's a lot of articles and reasons why employees leave a company. And you could do your own quick search and find those reasons. And they vary from lack of opportunity for improvement, lack of feedback, recognition, things like the culture of the company, the relationship with managers or with other employees. Pay could be something as well, but it's not at the top, contrary to what most people may think. So, of course, you need to be competitive. And there's all these reasons. But I want to point out two that I think are vital when it comes to hiring new employees. And the first one is job fit. And what I mean by job fit is the fit of the person for the job. And usually when we're hiring, we think of the skill fit for the job. So do they have the skills? And that's really the first thing that we want to look at. Of course, extremely important. But you could hire somebody with the skills for the job and still not have the overall job fit. So when I talk about job fit, I talk about three things, or three areas rather. One is the thinking style of the person and how it fits with the job. Now, I use an assessment tool with my clients called the PXT Select, and why I love it is because it measures job fit. And it does so in a scientific way. It pulls data from the employee and it matches that to the fit for the job, or what we call the performance model. So each job has its own specific performance model, and we could build those according to the job description, or we could even build it according to top performers in that position within the company, if we have enough of them. There's different ways we can build that performance model. So there's the thinking style of the person, there's the behavioral traits of the person, and then there's the occupational interests of the person. So each job or performance model has its own specific parameters that we want to match people against. So I'll go more into this in other videos. I've talked about that in past videos as well. For example, I just want to give myself as an example, because a long time ago, I took courses when I was involved in a family small business on accounting. I wanted to understand the financial component of a business. I hadn't studied that previously in school, so I took a certificate course in college over a few months, and it was quite an involved course, and I graduated. So I then acquired the skills, and of course, I applied it in the business I was in. So I acquired the skills for accounting to a certain level. But my job interest for admin and finance, when I did the assessment that I'm referring to, the PXT Select, is very low. I'm not interested in spending time doing admin and finance work. So because of that, I have a poor fit for a job of anything revolving around accounting, even though I have the skills to a certain degree to do that job. So the point is, I would avoid that type of work. And what I'm trying to say is that many people acquire skills in accounting or for whatever it is that they're applying for, but they may not have the interest or the behavioral traits that are best suited to do that kind of job. So you want to use as much data that you can get about people to see how they fit with the job. And that's why I recommend a tool like the PXT Select, where you can create a performance model for that job and then match people to it. The second thing is extremely important as well, and that's leadership. Because all those things I mentioned earlier about the company culture, about recognition, feedback, coaching, training employees, is related to leadership. So if leaders aren't taking the steps to create the right culture for the company, for the person, and of course each person may have varied needs in terms of those things that we're looking at or that come out when we do search on articles about employee retention that I just mentioned. Each person, the importance for those things will vary. And that's where leadership coaching comes in. You have to know your people and what they're looking for. But as a leadership team, if you cover all your bases in terms of creating that engaging company culture, if you provide opportunities for growth and improvement, if you provide training, if you provide feedback and recognition, and you measure the ability of the leaders for that, and I'm going to talk about that in upcoming videos, because the best way to measure leadership capability is through a 360 assessment. Now, we have that in our portfolio of products and services that we offer. I'm going to get into that more in upcoming videos. But I just wanted to cover today the importance of job fit and leadership when it comes to employee retention. And the only way to measure job fit really scientifically is through a psychometric assessment like the PXT Select, where we can create a performance model. And then to build leadership, we need to also measure the perception of the leader against the perception of people around him, and in direct reports, colleagues, and the boss, versus the leader's own self-perception, and then work on what they can do to make improvements. Of course, using the PXT psychometric would be also a great tool for leadership development, because it'll show what's causing perhaps some of the areas of challenge for that particular leader. So those are two things: job fit, hire people that fit the job, not just the skills, but that they fit the company and they have the thinking styles, behavioral traits, and occupational interests that are most important for the job. And then make sure that leaders are providing the type of environment that and the needs, meeting the needs of people, so that you reduce the risk of them wanting to seek out better better type of work culture, better opportunities at another company, and that you reduce your cost of turnover. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe now so you'll get, and turn on that notification bell. Hit that so you get news of new videos along this subject, that I could show you deeper what I mean about job fit and about leadership development using a 360-degree assessment. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. There's several related to the topics I'm speaking about right now. And check out also the articles on the website. I do offer free downloads of forms, job description templates, goal setting as well. There's a lot of stuff that you could download from that section of my website. There's links in the description of the video. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.